For our assessment tool project, we had the Purdue Pegboard test. To introduce this to you, the Purdue Pegboard tests dexterity and hand coordination. It may also be used to assess both gross and fine movements of the upper extremity, and it can also be used to test various cognitive issues. It was created in 1948 by Joseph Tiffin, who was an industrial psychologist. Originally, the test was formulated to test the abilities of factory workers, such as assembly, packing, and other jobs that require dexterity. The Purdue test is used with many different populations of any age and can be used to test disabilities, including learning disabilities, brain damage, traumatic brain injury, and injuries of the upper limb. There are 5 subtests that are completed for the assessment. This includes a score for the dominant hand, the non-dominant hand, both hands, and then for the 4th step, it's just the clinician taking the cumulative score of the right plus the left plus both hands. And for the 5th step, there's the score of units assembled. For subtest 2, this process is repeated on the non-dominant hand, this time also for 30 seconds. For subtest 3, both hands are used to do the test with both hands simultaneously, and this is also repeated for 30 seconds. Subtest 4 isn't an actual test, but it is a calculation combining the scores from the previous subtests. So the equation is dominant hand score plus non-dominant hand score plus both hands together as a score. And then this equation is used to find the average score of each of the 3 trials. The 3 scores are then averaged to find the final score for subtest 4. For subtest 5, this is the assembly step, and the client uses their dominant hand to reach for a pin to place it in the pinhole. As the pin is being placed into the hole, the non-dominant hand is reaching for a washer to then place it on top of the pin. As that is placed, the dominant hand is reaching for a collar to place above the washer. The final step is to use the non-dominant hand to grasp another washer to place on top of the collar. This will complete 1 assembly. The client may practice 4 to 5 attempts before completing as many assemblies as possible within 1 minute this time. When time is called, all items that have been placed on the board are counted as 1 point. If an assembly is complete, it is worth 4 points. If an assembly contains only a pin and a washer, it's counted as 2 points. This process is repeated 3 times and the scores are averaged to determine the assembly score. In terms of scoring, it's simple as the number of pins is counted and tallied after each trial is run. Each subtest is done 3 times, and after the 3 scores are documented, they are then averaged to find the final score for the subtest. After completing the 5 subtests, there are 5 individual scores that are then compared to normative scores within the proper age range. The scores for each subtest can be used to determine accuracy within finger dexterity and gross motor movements. Well, we thought that this was a useful assessment to measure finger dexterity and hand movements. It may be used to measure client progress and fine motor functionality. This test doesn't take a long time, and it gives the client 3 opportunities to improve their score. As therapists, we may observe whether or not the client is able to remain attentive enough to complete the task due to cognitive or physical deficits, and the test may also be used in many different settings with various populations.
Alright, so today we're going to test Diego's gross movement and finger dexterity. We're going to be using the Purdue Pegboard test to test these after a fall he had. So we're going to go ahead and take this sling off and see how he does with this test. So I'm going to go ahead and unbuckle this. Get this off of you. Alright, just want to make sure you're seated comfortably, you can reach the board. So this test is going to check your accuracy and see how quickly you can work with your hands. Before each part of the test, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to have an opportunity to practice. Be sure you understand exactly what to do, and if you have any questions, let me know. We're going to go ahead and start with your right hand. We're gonna pick up one peg at a time and put it in the top of each hole, like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and have you practice until you get to the line right there.
Okay.
All right, so that's a perfect example right there. If we go ahead and drop a peg, we're just gonna let that roll. Don't worry about that one. And we'll just keep on going. Do you feel comfortable with that part of the test? All right, we can go ahead and clear the board. All right, so when I say begin, I'm gonna have 30 seconds to let you go ahead and pick up all the pegs and put them in. When we say stop, I'm gonna just have you let go of the pens. Again, if you drop any, just keep on going and let those ones go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, start.
Ooh.
Stop. All right, great job. So we're going to go ahead and count these pins that you've got. So we have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pegs on your right side. We can go ahead and leave those in, and we're gonna try again on your left hand. So again, we'll be picking up a peg from the left side, putting it in the top one. I'm gonna go ahead and have you practice until you get to the line right there to make sure you're comfortable.
Okay.
All right, great job. We can go ahead and clear these pegs. Same as the other side. If we drop a peg, we're just going to let it go and keep on going. Do you have any questions? All right, when I say begin, we'll have 30 seconds to complete this task. Start. Stop. All right, excellent job. We have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 pegs on this side. And you can go ahead and replace all the pins back into their correct spot. Right pegs on the right side, left pegs on the left side. All right, for this next part, we're gonna go ahead and use both of our hands. So we're gonna grab a right peg from the right side and a left peg from the left side at the same time, and go ahead and place them in the top of each row. So again, at the same time, we're gonna grab and place. You can go ahead and practice this until you get to the line. There we go, both hands. There you go, trying to keep them both going at the same time. Let's do one more and then stop. All right, do you have any questions about what we're gonna be doing here?
No.
All right, go ahead and clear these. We're gonna go ahead and give you 30 seconds. When we say start, go ahead and grab the pegs, put them in from the top using both hands at the same time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, start. Stop. All right, great job. We're gonna go ahead and count the pegs we have here. So we have 5, 10, and 11 pegs with both hands. Good job. We can go ahead and clear these pegs. Right ones to the right side, left pegs to the left side. All right, for this last part of the test, we're going to be testing your sequencing. So we're going to do an assembly line to make a little structure. The point of this is to keep both hands moving at all times. So we're going to go ahead and start with our right hand and grab a peg. As we're placing it into the board, our left hand's going to be reaching for the washer. As the washer drops down, our right hand goes for the collar, sets that down, and as that happens, our left hand's going to go back to the washer. That will complete the first assembly line. We're going to go ahead and start again with your right hand placing the peg, and then the washer for the left hand, the collar for the right hand, back to the washer with the left hand. Do you have any questions on the sequencing?
No.
All right, we're going to go ahead and pass this along to you. I'm going to give you a few times to practice. Go ahead and go till you get to the line, and then at that point we'll stop, clear the board, and start our testing.
Okay.
Great job. As you're setting that down, perfect. I'm going to do a few more of them. And as before, if they drop, just go ahead and leave them and keep working. Great job. We'll do one more. Perfect. We'll go ahead and stop there. Do you feel comfortable with the sequence, or do you feel like you need to do a few more to
I feel
try?
comfortable, it's just a little difficult.
All right, we'll go ahead and clear that board.
Okay.
And don't worry about how difficult it is. You've got a minute for this task. There's no rush. Just go ahead and complete them in the sequenced order.
Okay.
All right, are you ready to begin?
I'm ready.
All right, when we say start, we'll go ahead and go until we say stop. Start. Great job.
You're halfway done. You have 30 more seconds. Stop.
All right, nice work. You can go ahead and stop right there.
Overall, we found that this is a useful assessment to measure finger dexterity and gross hand movement. It's helpful for measuring client progress and fine motor functionality, and we really like how it can be used in different settings with various populations. Thank you, and we hope that this helped you learn how to administer the Purdue Pegboard assessment.